Good morning and welcome again to my garden. Gardening is a lot of work. You either enjoy the work you do if you love gardening because it's fun, but it's something that's constant. You're either fertilizing your garden or whether it's harvesting, whether it's actually planting, weeding, you know, there's always something to be done in the garden. So I'm going to head out this morning before the sun comes up and show you how I prune my ever-bearing raspberry bushes. Now as you can see here, it's all dried and spent here. These are where I harvested my raspberries earlier in the summer. Here are where the new fruits are gonna come out. Look at this long cane coming up here. So this is what's gonna be bearing fruit for the fall. The bees are in there doing their work, pollinating. I hate to have to disturb them, but they'll be back because there's a lot of fruits right at the top of these canes. Look at that. Look how many. And usually in the fall, I get a bigger harvest than I do get in the summer. So my fall raspberries is what I'm gonna actually use to make jams or jellies, or what I used to store up in my freezer. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and prune all these old spent raspberry canes here. As you can see, it's very thick in here, and these have thorns. I know I'm touching it, but they have thorns on them. Okay, so you want to make sure you wear some gloves while you're doing this. This is the base right here, somewhere in there, and I am gonna just cut all these spent canes. Look at this one. Gonna get rid of all these. This is where I harvested all my raspberries so far this season. I still have some ripening here. Okay, so I'm just gonna get to work and cut all of these out. You want to wear some gloves when you're doing this, so that way you don't hurt your hands with the thorns. I'm wearing two right sides. I don't know, I just grabbed a wrong side, but whatever, it'll work. It still has some protection. And I don't go crazy when I'm cutting, simply because I want to be able to see what I'm doing. So I cut as far as I can see first. Then after I pull that out, I go in and I get a closer look. Because it's really thick in here. I gotta clear up the base of this so that way it stays healthy. We can get enough sunlight, enough water, enough air in there, and continue producing a lot of fruits, because I do get a lot of fruits, enough to store up, enough to eat in one season. So I gotta keep it happy. I gotta keep it healthy. Now the leaves on the raspberry, I dry them. Look at it in here. Look how beautiful this is. All the new canes are up here. I have 6 new canes. Look at the size of this cane compared to my finger. so it's going to remain a healthy plant. That's what I want in my garden, healthy plants. I think it's best for me, it's best for the plants. And I should be wearing long sleeves, but I'm not going too deep in, so I'm okay. If you don't maintain your pruning, and see, I got a whole nother plant right here. I can show you some plants that I transplanted from here this spring that's already fruiting, and it's going to bear fruit in the fall. I did cut the one with that last few berries on it, and that's okay because the chickens can have it. Nothing goes to waste around here. The chickens deserve a treat for all them good eggs I get. I gotta put that plant in some water so I can transplant that. This really needed a good clean out. I should have gotten in here already. So this is what it looks like now that I have cut out all the spent raspberry canes. And I'm just gonna get some chicken compost. I'm gonna, just mulch it up and fertilize it a little bit to give it a little boost so it can ripen those fruits that are on there. These right here are some canes that came up from that main plant. Look how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already pulled one out, and I have 6 right here on this one plant. I gotta be careful because I got some poison ivy coming in through the fence right there. So this is why I should have had long sleeves on. For those of you who don't know, this is poison ivy. If you haven't ever experienced poison ivy, you don't want to experience it. It hurts, it stings really bad for weeks at a time. Look at the pollinators. Look at that. Look at the bees. Look at them going to work. So I'm actually gonna do this other plant here. My 2 right glove. Look over here. You get rid of all of this because it's not going to do anything. It's just going to take energy from the fruits that you need to become mature, and because it wants to maintain all these green leaves still, but you don't need to waste that energy going into leaves that you're not going to get anything from. It's just a waste of time and energy. These are the berries here that I actually transplanted from the main plant in the front. They are going to fruit this fall. Those are all my berries. More berries. And this one had already fruited this spring, believe it or not. So I gotta cut this out because it's already gone. It's not doing anything. And these are the berries that are gonna come to maturity in the fall, for the fall season. See? They're growing beautifully back here. And It doesn't take a lot. Once you actually take a plant from a tree that's already fruiting, you are going to get fruit in the first year. These two berries right here, this one with the crazy thorns, look how this is growing. It's different from the variety that I showed you. This one and this one, they are actually two wild berry plants that I pulled up just from in the wild. I'm just using it for pollination purposes. So we'll see what happens. I love to experiment. They taste sweet. They're good. I've had them, but they're black raspberries. The one that I purchased in the store that I'm growing is the red raspberries, and this wild one that I pulled up is black raspberries. Now, berries are a good addition to any backyard gardening. It's a multi-purpose plant, and you can get your vitamin C from it, your antioxidants. You can use the leaves for medicinal purposes. Women, look it up, do your research, and there's so much more you can do. You can make jams, jellies, you can make preserves with it. You can add it to your cooking, sauces. So when you're growing, think about berries. So the raspberry pruning was a quick, easy, fun chore today, and I'm looking forward to a bountiful harvest for the fall. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time right here on Fifi's Journey.